Everyone, I'm Bridget Peoples, and welcome to Your Connection to the Spirit World. Today, I have the pleasure of meeting with Loot Bryon Smith. Loot is a creator of empowerment for others. He has a YouTube channel where he interviews amazing people from all walks of life to share their story. He's also a musician and creates some beautiful, empowering music. So I really encourage you all to check him out, and just some of the work he's done. It's incredible. So thank you, Luke, for being on my show today.
Absolutely, Bridget. It's a pleasure. The pleasure is all mine. And I'm a firm believer that time is one of our most precious assets. So I appreciate you sharing your time and inviting me to share some of your time with me. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. So what made you, after all these, just the normal guy working, having a family, what made you decide to start interviewing people?
Honestly, as you mentioned, I create it's many titles, but basically positive music and mostly hip hop music. But I create pop, and I experiment with rock and other genres. But basically, positive affirmation music. Um, and just as I've evolved, and just the people that I've met from doing that, and people that I've attracted, it just inspired me, especially due to what's going on now with I don't even want to say the name, the C word, what's going on,
Right.
and the restrictions and lockdowns that we're experiencing. It just inspired me to say, you know what, how can I use this moment to expand in some way? And it just came to me. So you can say spirit, source, the universe gave this to me to say, you know what, you have a gift and a passion for speaking with people, and you're able to do it. And people, you attract people from that, like I expressed to you prior to this segment, people that you probably wouldn't have met in your normal life, but you attract them through social media and through what you're doing and through your spirit and your intentions. So I said, well, why not create a platform where I can highlight people such as Bridget Peoples and other people around the world that have the intention of helping people in regards to like personal development or spirituality or anything like that, health, mindset. Let me put something together and tap into this gift that I've been given to be able to talk to people, and highlight what they do, and at the same time, it's inspiring me and other people, and just, connecting with my energy, and I'm learning, and just how to talk to, people from around the world, and just learning from them. And like I mentioned before, and then I'll conclude this what I'm saying now, because I can talk, as you can see. But
I love that.
yeah, I was just gonna say that prior to the segment, I expressed to you, and you agreed that we're all looking for the same thing in regards to just inner peace and happiness. Now, what we're aware of and how we go about doing it and what level we're on consciously or mentally, okay, it varies. But at the same time, I from my perspectives and my experiences, everybody's looking for that, that happiness, and anybody that can encourage them to connect with their own happiness and inner peace and sustain, hey, that's why you're here. That's part of your purpose. And I know
Yeah,
that.
I agree. I think that, and you're right. If we would have passed each other in the street, we probably would have looked
Yeah.
as a soul recognition, but wouldn't have been able to have
Yes.
this back and forth conversation
Right.
to learn about each other and find that we have so many similarities in our life, and also the kind of the people we associate with, our relationships with others, and how there's so many similarities where people would not know that. And I
Right.
agree. That was one of the reasons starting my channel as well, was let's learn about the person, not just, the color of your skin, the size, the shape, the what have you, your beliefs, whether you're left or right or in the middle, doesn't matter. It's let's have a conversation to walk a mile in your shoes. and learn about that person from every area of life, whether you're rich or poor, doesn't matter. Famous, not famous, infamous, whatever. But I think it's great for people to just kind of learn about other people. And I have to say, I love your music and your hip hop because you put those lyrics for some of the manifesting stuff that I like to do in some of my mantras to music. So I absolutely love it. And I think the younger group, like my grandkids and stuff, they could get on board with that kind of music. And then they're getting an uplifting and empowering message in a hip hop beat, and they can actually in the car or what have you, It's like we have club. But I think it's powerful that the music that you do as well. And I've seen quite a few of your shows. I absolutely love them because you're right. I learn stuff about people and different kind of their walk of life, what they do to help others. And in this time of the C word and lockdowns and all that other crap, we really need a positive outlet. So people like yourself and myself and those that do good for others, it's not a competition. It's truly, let's see how many amazing people we can awaken to positive prayer and positive thought, whatever you want to call it.
Right. I like that. Stood out what you just said, a positive outlet. Yes, I'm going to add that to my resume. Yes, that's one of the reasons why I created this, is to have a positive outlet during these times and beyond these times. So yes, I like that. Thank you,
I always look for something positive, when we have those days. And I heard something yesterday that just kind of stuck with me. And it was, instead of saying, I'm sorry for being late, how about we turn it to a positive and say, thank you for waiting for me.
Yes.
It means the same thing, truly, but they're going to feel better about having to wait for you if you say thank you for waiting for me versus, my God, I'm so sorry I'm late, right?
Yes,
that's totally different.
That right there sort of connects with the glass half full, half empty type thing.
Yes,
absolutely. It does. You can look at it. It depends on the way you look at it.
Absolutely. Yes. And if you're having a bad day, as you know, it's all right here. If you're having a bad day, turn on the radio, listen to something, listen to your music, listen to something that's going to lift you up and empower you, because it really is, as you know, and I think you'll agree with me, it really is about how we feel in that moment. So like if someone cuts us off, instead of going, giving them the bird and all that other stuff, let's go, thank you, because you probably are going to get the ticket, not me. Look for a positive there. You know what I mean? I always try to spin that around when I'm driving.
And you just taught me to stay aware of my surroundings because of drivers like that. Now I more watch how other people drive than myself. So I'm looking before I change lanes, not just, I'm watching other people and how they drive or trying to judge, okay, what this driver might do. So don't get too close because he's probably on his phone and he's gonna probably get over without seeing me. So I kind of watch that stuff now. So yeah, like you said, we can thank those drivers for making us aware at the same time.
And if I get stuck behind a train or a fire truck or something, I'm like, okay, Spirit really quickly will say, look, and I'll be like, oh, thank you for saving me from whatever I'm avoiding. Thank you. Instead of getting mad and upset and being late, I'm just like, oh, thank you, because you're obviously keeping me safe by having this something to come in my way and stop me. And it's not always true, but it really is. You have to be grateful. And I always like to kind of play with street lights, green. Thank you, Spirit, for making sure all my lights are green on my way to work today. And then
there you go. That's what I call sending my angels ahead of me. That's what I call. Yeah. And at the same time, how you're breaking this down directly resonates with the way that I think every day, that everything is unfolding for my highest good. So when you speak like that, like you're speaking, that right there assures that everything, no matter what, people can see it like, oh, but this happened. Nope. But then you turn it into a positive, like it did happen, but it happened because of this. And I'm thankful because of this. And then you'll have people backing up that aren't there yet, but you're going to plant a seed. I'm going to tell you that much.
That's the whole point. I think for both you and I, and the work we do is planting that seed, because truly like I'll say stuff like that, and I'll have like my sister, for example, like, whatever. And I'm just like, I feel sorry for you because you live in that negative space most of the day. And I
Right.
get it. Life happens to all of us. We all have crap happen to us. That's why we're here, to experience
Right.
that. It's how we get through it that matters. So when you have that negative, you have to find a way to change it around. Otherwise, you're going to have a bad day every day. And it's just, I
Absolutely.
don't want to live like that. And I know you don't. But it's funny, I won't give up where we really live, right? But when I go visit my mom in Southern California, compared to where I live, the traffic is insane. And
Okay.
those 6 lanes of freeway out going towards her house, you have to be on your game because they're coming at 90 miles an hour every single direction. And it's like, holy crap. And over the years growing up in Southern Cal, because I grew up in Orange County. And so I was around a lot of those freeways. You got the 22, the 91, 57, blah, 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 just all connecting. And it's scary, but I used to be an extremely defensive driver. And I'm not so much here because we've only got 3 lanes and we don't really have a lot of traffic. We're getting more, where I live. But it's just crazy every time I go down there. I mean, you have to be very defensive in driving anymore. You got tires flying by, you've got, all this crazy stuff. And you have to really look at it as, thank you. Spirit
Right.
shows you for a
Right.
reason.
I mean, that's the best way to do it, because like you said, if you look at it another way, you're just going to make yourself miserable,
Yeah,
not the circumstances, because they're going to happen. They're going to happen
that's
the way
right.
they're happening.
They're
And
gonna,
so
mhm.
you can decide which way you want to allow it to make you feel.
Yes. And the anxiety, I think, and you'll probably agree, the anxiety is either going to give you a heart attack,
Right.
make you unhealthy. So I love what you do in changing that positive as well, because you really can. It makes a difference for anxiety. And I think you'll agree, a lot of people are medicated now for anxiety and
Right.
depression and
Right.
stuff. If they would just open up or plant that seed of enlightenment and empowerment, like what you do, oh my God, that's so beautiful.
Right.
It would change the way people look at things. I don't understand how in America, and you probably don't either, that this is the most depressed group of people,
Right. Right.
right?
Yeah.
In the world. I like you, I talk to people all around the world. I do readings for people around the world. And it's amazing the perspective difference. And
Yes.
have you found that with interviewing people from around the world? Because I know you have several people that you do.
Right.
What do you notice the difference between somebody in the UK or over on the other side of the world versus here in the US as far as attitude?
Yeah, I do. Here in the US, and I think in my perspective, I think it's a lot to do with just how we're programmed here through media and through society. And everybody, like I said, it narrows down to this simple yet complex, which is everybody's looking for some happiness, but they're looking for it in these fleeting places.
Yeah.
And what I'm seeing in other countries is they're more connected to inside of finding that happiness versus looking for it everywhere else, where the latest thing that they're seeing on a commercial on television or um you know and don't get me wrong, everybody desires prosperity in a
Yes.
monetary way. I mean, that can enhance your life, and it does. So I'm not
It's
trying to.
energy.
Yeah, it's energy.
It's
Yeah, and
energy.
that's the way you got to
Yeah.
look at it, and you got to align with that energy. But at the same
Yes.
time, yeah, people are, they're looking at other people, comparing, wanting to keep up,
Mhm. Yeah.
and it's fleeting, and everything's moving so fast,
Yeah.
that it's causing a lot of this anxiety
Yeah.
and things like that. So that's what I'm noticing, as a difference from the U.S. to other countries, that I'm seeing a little bit more
I
of a slowdown somewhere else than here.
Isn't that true? It's so true. I saw the other day there was a guy wanted to do a study. He was in some tribe. I don't know where in the world it was, but there was these three children, and he basically was setting a piece of food. They all wanted it, like a thing of bananas or something like that. And these three little boys, it was like, well, let's see who'll climb up the tree first to race it. And all three of those little boys worked together and they shared the bananas. They didn't, and it goes, well, why would you share? And they kind of looked at the gentleman that did that. It was just trying to see how they would respond because they don't speak. They literally got little, leather pouch in the front and back, their tribal pins and stuff on.
Right.
I forget where it was, but they all worked together and they didn't just share the three little boys. They shared with all of their people.
Right.
Because they worked together and they didn't understand how these little children would do this. And I thought to myself, well, it's because we're getting back to basics. We're getting back to, even though it's primitive for your and my standards and how we were raised in the world we grew up in, but that's all they know. And they literally are connected to Mother Earth. They know how to use their water, their feces, their urine to grow things. They know how to live off the land, and be very prosperous, but they're so happy. They don't have any of the problems we have.
That's the key right there.
Yes,
and you just reminded me of something because I connected with a friend that I hadn't talked to for a long time, and he expressed to me that he had gotten this amazing this job. It didn't really say amazing, but this job where he was getting paid a lot of money, and he was focusing on that. And there's nothing wrong with that because I said, wow, you attracted that. But this is where it kind of, listen to this. I said, okay. I said, that's fine. And I'm proud of you. I said, but let me ask you something. I said, are you truly happy? I said, are you happy inside, mentally, physically? I said, is everything are you at peace? And that's when I saw like a concerned look on his face. And he kind of looked at me and I'm like, okay, I get that you have this job with this money, but and yes, but are you happy? Are you? Well, yeah, I got this. No. Are you happy?
You're happy. Exactly. Yeah. No, there is a difference. I was telling my husband, I used to love what I do, but even though I make I do well, we'll just say, but I'm just like, I would much rather have conversations or bring in messages of those who have crossed over to bring healing to their loved ones. I would much rather spend my day every day doing that because that is helping somebody else. It's not about me. It's literally making someone else's day better, giving them healing, helping them move forward in their life because they're so grief stricken. I would much rather spend my time doing that. And I know the universe will take over because I always put out there, I'm financially abundant. Finances come to me easily and effortlessly. And they do. I'll get a call. Hey, you won this contest. Great. I didn't know I was in it, but I'll take the extra grand. Sure. So I always put it out there, and spirit never, and most people don't realize this. If you really think about it, spirit has never left you without, ever. You've never gone hungry.
Exactly.
Now, some people, yes, but that's part of their divine plan. It really is.
Right. Even if we don't understand it.
Even if we don't understand it, but there's still a roof over their head. There's a way to get food. Are they going to go hungry? Some of them, absolutely. But that's the learning. Just like that recent interview I did, I was telling you, I know exactly when you watch the thing I did with Mr. McMinnon, you will, as you're hearing the story, you'll see exactly why that experience happened, what they were to learn in this lifetime from that. That's why it's shown. So just some incredible stuff. So I'm excited about it though.
Right. I want to see it. Yeah, I am. Yeah. Send
me
the link to that.
I will. Okay. So I wanted to ask you too. So what do you see going forward with your show? What are you going to be doing here in the next couple months that your listeners will be excited to and look forward to seeing?
Well, I'm not sure exactly the topics that I'm going to be covering, but I do know it's just more of just reaching out to more people and just I'm excited because everybody has a different journey and a different story. But like I said, there's some similarities in there. Like what I see a common narrative is that people oftentimes have went through a dark place or an unsure place, or whether it was with their health or with other people, their mindset, and then they emerge like better, after going through that. And now they're able to really inspire other people because of what they went through. So I see that a lot, and that's amazing, because I
Isn't it?
believe these trials that we go through are meant, they're not meant to destroy us. They're like you said, how you put it, that if you have that mindset that everything that happens and unfolds is for my benefit, hey, get behind a train. It's not because it messed up and made me late. It's because it stopped me from, it prevented me from getting into an accident that could have killed me, so just things like that, and that's, I believe that is similar to whatever we may go through. It's a divine plan. Whether I can explain it to you, I might not know the answers, because I've had people tell me that, well, I went through this and this, and tell me why. I don't know,
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
not sure.
you can figure out why. And
You
it
have to
really
figure
comes
that
down
out.
to,
That's
and I
your
think
journey.
you'll agree. Yeah, as I say, because when you sit in meditation or just have that quiet time, and it happens to me a lot when I drive because I'm focused on the road and just the traffic, and watching, but Spirit's really good about taking over, because sometimes I'm just off and I'll be like,
Right.
oh, that's how that happened. I'm like, but they
Right.
make sure I'm driving careful. And then some days they make me very aware. But when you're sitting there and you've had an experience like that, or someone you've interviewed, do they actually realize why? And I think for the people you interview, though, has had that experience and the understanding.
Yes.
And that's what led them.
I mostly interview people that have had that awakening already. So I haven't
Yes.
had too much interviews with people that normally on my outside of the show, dealing with
Yes.
people on an everyday, coworkers and things like that. You can
Right.
tell they don't get
You
it.
can
And
tell.
I try not to preach, because I don't want to
No.
scare them away, but at the same time, I throw little seeds out there, just little bits and pieces to cause them, that may give them a little shake up. Like, what are you saying? Just something that they may not understand at the time, but it's nonetheless, it's going in there, and their brain is gonna chew on it. But
yes,
yeah,
exactly. And I think that, and you can tell when they have that aha moment, like, let's say, well, this happened, this happened, this happened. Okay, but let's look for the positive in it. Let's turn that around. And when my coworkers come to me, or did you get anything today? Or is there anyone with me? And I'll be like, well, let's look at this, And some people are like, oh, I hate when you do that. And I'm like, well, you came to me.
right.
I'm just helping you by, asking you, do you hear what you're saying?
Right.
And
you know what? I learned is oftentimes, not all the time,
right.
but a good portion of the time, people will start changing themselves based on watching you. So I've seen people, like coworkers of mine, all of a sudden they're about to talk about somebody, and they say, oh no, that's not going to benefit me to say anything bad about them. And they've gotten that from me. And then, but I won't say that to them, because, I don't want to damper and
ego.
I don't say, hey, yeah, you got that from me. No, I'm like, I'm just quiet, like, okay, they don't know, but they've been hearing me say that, so now they're saying it, and that's good.
It's humbling for sure. And yes, I used to be that way, where like, see, I told you, because I was excited about it, but I've really learned to go.
Yeah, just silently take your own gratitude to yourself, like,
yes, exactly,
thankful, hey, my influence is it's rubbing
and
off
I love
on them.
that too. As long as it changes people for the better, or it can help them. I had a person come to me, they were like sending me messages all day. Are you here yet? I want to come see you. Let me know when you have time. And some days my days are extremely busy, and other days are not as busy, but I can always find something to do. And the girl comes in and she's like, I was in the shower, and all of a sudden my phone went off, and it played a message her grandma had passed. They played her grandma's message on her voicemail.
Wow.
And she goes, and I just smiled at her. It's like, you're cute, but I just like, that's wonderful, And she goes, was it my grandma? I said, well, yeah, of course it was your grandma. And she goes, but it just played out of nowhere. And I said, I said, so just so you know, when your grandma's with you, or anyone that you lose, and they're on your brain and constantly in your mind, that's because they're with you. And they're trying to touch you, and that's why you're thinking of them, and people don't really realize that subtle sign. And I told her, I gave her a message, and of course her mouth dropped open and her eyes got as white as saucers, and she's like, yeah, that happened this morning. And then you got the message, yes.
Right.
And I'm like, and I'm not here to judge it. I don't care what you got going on in your personal life. I don't need to know. Just like on Monday nights, I do Manifesting Monday. And I'll also pull cards every once in a while on that particular one if I'm guided to by spirit. And I'll tell people, if you have a question, I don't want to know the question. I don't need to know. That's between you and whatever you've got going on. But I'll pull the answer, because I have these angel answer cards. I don't need them, but people love them, so I don't care. So, okay, so I'll pull the card and I'll give them to them. And one of the cards said, reconsider.
Right.
And the girl said, should I change jobs? Well, she didn't take the advice of the card. And so I said, please don't ask for a card again if you're not going to listen. Right? Because after she learned her lesson, because she's like, I should have listened. And I
Don't
said, well,
waste my time.
Right. And I just said, yeah, exactly. In a very nice way. And I just
No,
said,
I get it. No, I get it.
Yeah. But I was playing with her and I said, so you asked a question, spirit responded, and you ignored them.
Right.
And these are the consequences. So the consequences was, what should I change jobs? It said, reconsider. You didn't. You took the new job. You get fired a month later. And now you're looking for another job. And you'd still have that job you had, making more money. You took a job that paid less, thinking it would be better. And spirit flat out said, reconsider, and you didn't. So, and I said, but I still love you, and we joke about it. And I told her, I said, you were meant to have this experience.
Right.
And the reason for that is to have faith. When spirit responds and answers to you, have faith in that. And it takes time to learn faith. It does. It's not something anyone's going to learn overnight.
It does, because we want to,
it took a long time for me to get there, believe me.
Yeah, we want to jump, and be anxious about controlling and this and that. And where we let just things that are happening control our perspectives, instead of just knowing that there's something behind the scenes that's working that we don't have to understand. We don't have to have all the answers, but nonetheless, it's going to work out for our best, better than we can plan it ourselves. So
absolutely. And when we don't get jobs, like when people apply for jobs and they don't get the job, there's a reason for that. I'm like, there is a reason. And it's in people, especially when you're married or in relationships and have family. I have a friend that wants to move out of state, but it's just not coming to be. And the card she got said, it told her basically that you've got other people around you that this will affect. There's a reason you're still here. And shortly thereafter, their mom had a fall, broke a hip. And it's like, had you not been there, you wouldn't have been able to help your aging mother. You know what I mean? So there's always a higher power out there putting things in place for us.
Absolutely.
So that they look out for us when we don't always look out for ourselves and we think there's something better. So I think that's kind of a cool thing.
The thing is, we have to learn to allow, we have to learn to allow this divine power to do what it's here to do, and to work through us and to guide us and to, speak to us through, as intuition and things of that nature. So,
absolutely. Amazing. I know. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing more of your music and continuing to have you share stories with people. But I know that you have a very busy day like myself as well.
Right.
So I'm going to hold us to our time slot this morning. But thank you so much for your time, Luke. I really appreciate and honor and respect you. So thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Bridget. I always enjoy, and I look forward to a long, prosperous, loving relationship with you and speaking to you more, and just knowing that you are someone that, if I have any questions or just, I consider you one of my mastermind people. This is one of my connects right here. So I appreciate you being there, and thank you for being who you are. Thank you.
No, thank you. I love it. So I will be talking with you soon. Bye.
Yes. Bye. Peace. Thank you, everybody.